the best underground music of 2020, or alternatively, 2020, a year through music from a non-musician's perspective.
Treat my life like a holiday. Negativity is calling me. Call a psycho ex who never wants the rest. I asked her why'd you never go away.
That requires of this moment that we direct a statewide order for people to stay at home.
Let's shake, let's bounce. You said you're down, you're gone away. You'll come back round. It's not the end, but it's near.
Why are you like this? Ah!
Nick is the biggest fucking simp ever.
2020 has been one of the most disruptive, unpredictable, and life-changing years I've personally experienced. In this video, I'll be sharing some of my favorite moments.
Nick is the biggest fucking simp ever.
Whatever chord progression I think is right, I reproduce it if I need to, and then I'll lay vocals and lyrics over.
As well as my top 5 favorite projects. Kicking it off with some honorable mentions, I'd be doing a disservice not to mention these projects. A Night in Virginia by Osquin, Punk 2 by Breakins, Creature Part 2 by Garden, I Think Something's Wrong With My Head by Skelly, HD by Abbott and Gordon Snyder. Absolutely love these projects. Coming in at number 5, my 5th favorite project of this year is I Don't Suit Hats by Younger One. It's a light and fun project filled with enjoyable tracks all the way from start to finish. Some of my favorites include Sucker for Your Love,
Wake up thinking I'ma be productive. Got nobody, so I'm doing nothing. Spend some money, cry and be disruptive. Smash my phone, so am I lost or lucky? Yeah, I tell you my MySpace days are gone. I've been stalking your Insta way too long, and I feel like I dream of you too much. Said enough is enough, cause I'm really a sucker for you.
a track that was basically the soundtrack to the first half of my year, as well as the song Let's Shake. It's always an enjoyable listening experience, and I highly recommend it. I had written an article about him back in December of 2019, as well as interviewed him in early March of 2020. Since then, it's been an absolute privilege to watch him grow over the course of this year. He's always been such an extremely positive person, and someone I'm very happy to see finding success. Secrets by Midwest is my 4th favorite project. While it was not the most explosive hyperpop release of this year, like Glaive's Astrid or Osquin's Bad Idea, it was my favorite hyperpop release of 2020. Midwest showcases his versatility through tracks like Useless, Backseat, Decay, and Three-Faced.
If this is good enough, I'll just leave it in, cause fuck it, why not? Looking out for fakes, cleaning all my garden, mow the grass. I've been trying to smoke away my pain and smoke away my past. Got a smile on my face right now, I hope that it should last. People tell me I need help, the only thing I do is laugh. Put on a mask while you're so fat, and pain got a tilt there. I get another sleep while it's staying, I stay LA. Words stuck inside my throat, don't know what I'm gonna say. I don't like to follow rules, don't think I'm a big head.
This album is the only hyperpop project that I found myself constantly coming back to and listening over and over again. In a genre where projects are often overshadowed by wildly popular singles, Midwest Secrets stands out as one of the best to come from the genre. My 3rd favorite project is undoubtedly Fantasia by Yaller Hornet. I've went in depth with this EP in its own video that you can find in the top right corner of the screen if you haven't seen it already. I really encourage you to go check it out. It's my best video I've ever made. But in short, this album is nothing like anything I've ever heard before. It creates a beautiful fantasy world through its lyrics and instrumentation. Songs like Morning Star and Little Hornets will be songs I revisit for years to come. It's one of the most refreshing projects I've heard this year, absolutely fearless in creating its own unique vibe, sound, and world and everything. It's definitely one of my favorite projects, just in general, point blank period. Koi's album Before It's Too Late ranks into my second favorite project of 2020. Everything about this album just flows together nicely, from Koi's beat selection to the smooth flows and all of the Overcast directed music videos. Tracks like On My Way, YSL, Beverly, and Attitude.
Giving me attitude, all these problems you added to 'em. I feel like we out of tune. I can't get mad at you, 'cause you a bad influence. You a bad influence. I ain't mad, just do it. I ain't mad, just do it.
All stand out as a few of my favorites. I have vivid memories of driving through Beverly Hills with friends while blasting Koi's track Beverly and singing along every word. It's moments like this that, for me, separate good songs from great ones. It's about the memories you make while listening to them. And now time for my favorite album of 2020. Now, if you know me personally, you know exactly what I'm going to say, but this album, hands down, is my absolute favorite of this year. It is none other than Therapy by Polearm. I wrote an entire article about Therapy for Underground Vampire Club. I went to Polearm's house to have an entire interview with him, 53 minutes, you can check it out on my channel, about this album. I even made my first video about this album. It is just genuinely my favorite project to probably ever come out of this scene. It is genuinely one of the best fucking albums that I've ever heard. Now, I had this album all the way back in February because I had been sent a copy of it to listen to write my review for UBC, and ever since then I've listened to it probably once a day, if not more. It is just one of the best listening experiences I've had in a very long time, from all of the interesting concepts he brings together onto its 12-minute runtime. From things such as the first trilogy of songs that all flow together very nicely, to the strict idea that each song must be 1 minute long and be contained in just that one single minute, to all of the callbacks to the previous tracks on the ending track Therapy. Everything just works and it feels so good to listen to. It is just one of the best projects I've ever heard, and if you haven't seen it, I definitely recommend that you see my video on it. Listen to the interview with Polearm. He's an incredibly smart guy and one of the nicest people that I've ever met. I have nothing but good things to say about him and this project. I could go on for hours and hours about this project, and fucking I have gone on for hours and hours about this project. It's on my fucking channel. You can go read it on UVC. It's all there. It's clear that I fucking love this. It is genuinely one of the best albums to come out of this scene, point blank fucking period, not just 2020, in general.